What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with a new top 5. And today, guys, we are going to be showing you 5 ways to tame a Titan. Now, as you guys know, the Titans are tameable, but they are probably on the more difficult side of things. So, guys, in order to help you out, we decided to show you how to tame a Titan. Now, we're focusing on the Forest Titan today, but you can pretty much use the same trick for the Ice Titan as well. The Desert Titan's a little bit different because, well, he freaking flies. But these guys all fundamentally have the same sort of deal going on. Now, with the Forest Titan, there are a couple of ways you could go about doing it. My personal is to snipe him from a range. You can see here, okay, we're too far away from him. You can see here that you are able to actually snipe him from a distance. Do we have our armor on? We do. But you want to make sure that you stay out of this glowing green field, otherwise you will take damage. But you can see if we come up here, for example, we're still taking damage. We're still taking damage. So you can see if we come up here out of the green mist that this guy gives off, you can actually snipe his nodules with a fabricated sniper rifle. And you'll know that you're hitting his nodules and not him by the hit marker coming up purple and not red. So you can see when we actually shoot him, it comes up red. When we hit his corrupted nodules, it comes up purple. That's how you know you are actually dealing corrupted damage to him. Now, in order to serve as distractions, because, well, he's going to know that you're shooting at him from a distance and you want to keep his attention away from you. In order to do that, you pretty much just want to send in your big bad dinos. Now, if you've taken on the bosses from previous maps, then you'll have plenty of, I guess you could say cannon fodder, Titan fodder for the Titan to take on with your boss Rexes. Those guys are easily breedable. Oh, and you can see that's just gone bye-bye. But those guys are easily breedable and you can easily just send more of them in. I'd recommend sending at least 2 or 3 in just to distract him while you... The only attack that you'll actually take from him at this distance is his rooted attack. This rooted attack pretty much just locks it into place. Do be careful, however, if you start noticing that your tames are dying and he's started to root you like that, well, you kind of want to get out of there because he will start running towards you and he can kill you from that positioning. He does have that big grapple attack that he's able to use, and that allows him to reach far distances, which I think he might be gearing up to do now. Now you can see he's starting to walk towards us now, so you just want to try and empty as much ammunition into his corrupted nodules as possible. When you notice he starts getting closer, make sure that you hop on your flyer and fly to the other side of his arena so that you can actually get away from him. Now, if you ever find that you're having trouble with dealing with him, simply walk out of his arena range and he'll actually turn around and he won't recover any of his health that the corruption nodules have taken. So from here you can go about getting onto your flyer and just flying over to his other side. Now you can see we've currently got a snow owl, so we're going to chuck the saddle on him and you can fly around and just kite him around like that. So you can still kind of like get around and do everything that you need to. Alrighty guys, now for the 4th method to go about knocking out and defeating and taming the Forest Titan, you pretty much can get onto a flyer. Now I would recommend a flyer that has quite a bit of health. You can level up your snow owls to be rather powerful in terms of health, and you can actually use these guys to go about attacking his corrupted nodules. But you have to be careful for things like that, otherwise you'll get absolutely annihilated into the 5th realm. You saw there that our poor snow owl did not last a chance against him. So guys, that's why that method is only number 4 on this list. So guys, let's move on to number 3. Alrighty guys, now method number 3 is the tech rifle method. Now with this method, pretty much what you do is you get yourselves a tech rifle and you pretty much just walk backwards while shooting at him, well, while shooting at his corrupted nodules. Now what this will actually do is it'll keep him walking in a straight line so that all the actual element bullets will hit him. Now it'll eventually get to a point where he'll be drawn back to the center. At this stage you can either go in by foot or you can bring one of your other tames into the fold with you so that you don't take damage from the green mist that he expels, which is really annoying sometimes. Now you can sort of still shoot at him from a distance while walking back, but the good thing about the tech rifle is that you do have the added ability of it kind of hitting its spot most of the time and dealing quite a bit of damage. So it also has a really good fire rate, which you can see there, and this allows you to hit the corrupted nodules for more damage. You can see there, if you aim at his arm while walking backwards, he'll pretty much just walk himself into all your bullet shots. Now, this is good because, like I said, it'll deal damage to him, it'll deal damage to the corrupted nodules, which is pretty much what you want to do, and then eventually you'll be safe enough for him to actually get drawn back to the center, and you can pretty much regather yourself and regroup. So you can see there we've just been rooted. We'll actually be able to escape from here by the time he decides to come over here, and if not, he'll actually just be drawn back to the center. So you've got that option as well, and if not, you can just keep firing at him. But make sure you do have element with you and a decent tech rifle, otherwise this method could take a little bit of time. Now a substitute for this is, instead of the tech rifle, you could use an assault rifle instead, as you are able to actually get a bit more of a higher leveled assault rifle, I guess you could say, which would actually translate into dealing more damage. You can see there, it's not as accurate, I guess you could say, but it is just as effective, if not slightly more effective, because you don't have to wait for the assault rifle bullets to travel all the way over there, because the tech rifle actually travel time is a little bit longer than the assault rifle. So this is another option for you guys if you're keen on doing it on foot, but do take note, it will take a very long time because they don't deal the most amount of damage. And honestly, the only other option you guys can have from here is to take a ridiculously strong flyer into battle with you, and I would not recommend that because you saw what happened to our poor snow owl. He got obliterated in one hit. So you kind of want to be careful with these guys because they can pretty much annihilate anything you bring up against them. Except of course for yourself, you just sometimes have to outsmart the titans. Alrighty guys, now number 2 is the bringing a friend along. Now you can normally stick multiple players on a tappy saddle, even carry one around on an RG saddle. I really wouldn't recommend the RG though, because you kind of have to just carry them, which isn't something that you want to do. But you can see here with the tappy, you can actually get nice and close, and your tribe mates can shotgun the Titan right in the arm. So it's actually really effective on dealing close range damage. Now obviously the person flying has to be really talented at avoiding all of the forest titans attack, otherwise you will be in trouble. Now you can see there the tappy does have a little bit of health on him, so he is able to survive a couple of hits, but nothing really amazing. What you can do as well, if you want to go for like the kind of safe, and that is to get your tribe mates and pretty much just stick yourself to the wall on your tappy. You can still kind of shoot him, well your tribe mates will be able to anyway, and you can kind of just jump off whenever you want to avoid his attacks and come back over here and attack his nodules. Now in terms of best tames to use, these are the best tames to use. Probably the tappies and like anything that allows for passenger seats. But you can see here the tappy has survived quite a few hits. Make sure you do have a decent saddle on him. We actually have a Mastercraft which provides us with 76 armor, which is solely the main reason why our tappy is surviving so far. So guys, let's move on to number 1. Alrighty guys, and finally number 1 is the mech. The mech is without a doubt the best way to go about taming a Titan. It's got the cannon, it's also got the gun, which you can actually utilize to the best of your abilities to actually shoot his corrupted nodules. Now you can see that he's gone all defensive on us. Poor little baby, he's taking a bit of damage from us. And are we good to go? Can we move now? Yep, there we go. Alright, so yeah. So you can use this to pretty much shoot at his corrupted nodules. I really wouldn't recommend the cannon unless you know you're going to hit, because if you don't hit him, it actually does quite a bit of damage. But if you have the mech's pistol thingamajiggy, you can actually utilize that better, because the pistol does less damage and it fires 3 rounds, so it makes it easier to hit the corrupted nodules. However, it will take a little bit longer to take out than if you were to use solely just the cannon, but you pretty much just utilize the same method that we've been talking about earlier, where if you're worried about taking too much damage, simply back out and just come back in and wait for him to get drawn back to the center. But you can see here the cannon is effective, just make sure that you know you're going to hit the corrupted nodules, otherwise you might deal too much damage to him, well too much for your liking anyway, and you can see there that he is taking damage because he's actually doing his defensive posture, which does mean he is taking the damage. So guys, you just want to keep emptying into him with the mech as much as possible. I cannot reaffirm this enough. The mech is without a doubt the best way to go about taming the Titan and the best way to go about taking out his nodules. You can see there without actually hitting the nodule, we deal 6,000 damage. But we can use our pistol to shoot at his nodules at our leisure, and the mech does have quite a decent amount of health on him, so you've got that as well. Now if you do manage to get a higher level blueprint as well as someone with a higher crafting skill, your mech could potentially be even stronger, which is perfect. That's exactly what you need. You need your mech to be as strong as possible, because although it doesn't look like you deal much damage, when you actually hit the corrupted nodules, it says it deals 1, but you actually deal, the more damage you deal to the nodule, the faster it comes off. So for example, if we were to use our cannon, more so, we would actually be able to deal more damage to him than using the pistol, as long as we actually hit the nodule. So guys, what we're going to do for the rest of the video, we're just going to show you us taking on the Titan and actually just destroying his nodules. Now you can see here he's starting to take a little bit more damage because we're actually missing the nodules. That's what I mean by making sure you want to hit the nodules. Otherwise, you won't kill him, but you will actually damage him a little bit too much if you want to use him for like raiding and stuff like that. So guys, take that into mind as well. And the other downside of using the cannon is that it does take a little bit of time to fire, and that can subsequently mean that the Titan will move by the time your shot reaches him. But you can see here, you can jump over all his rooting attacks and just continue shooting him. Make sure you have a steady supply of element as well, otherwise you'll find your ammo will run out. But there you go, you can see that his first arm has just been taken off. So guys, that's pretty much what you want to do. You just want to keep firing into him with your gun. I find the gun being the best thing to use against the Titan's corrupted nodules, because it fires 3 rounds, it does a decent amount of damage, and you can just continuously fire. And the aim on it is also relatively decent. So I would definitely recommend using a mech above everything else to tame up Titans. Look how quick we're going to get this guy's arm off. I promise you it'll be real quick. There we go. And especially with the Forest Titan, it's cool because he loses his arms. It's a little bit different on the Ice Titan, but you can see that we've just made him lose his second one. And boom, just like that, we've only got the 1 nodule left underneath his chin. This one is a little bit harder to hit, but you can still hit it with the mech. You can also use the cannon, like I said. It's entirely up to you how you guys want to go about it and how much health you guys actually want to end up with your Titan being on. But if for any reason you're finding that the battle is too tough or you don't feel prepared enough, you can simply just back out of the arena and the Titan will walk back to the front of it. Now, one last final thing that we haven't mentioned with the mech is that it's a long range fighter. So you can keep your range from him and you can deal damage while avoiding damage with your mech. It's great. Like, I cannot guarantee you enough how good the mech is for Titan taming. I would not use anything else. I know I've given you 4 other things to use on the list, but honestly guys, those are so crap in comparison to the mech. There's just nothing else you can really use against the Titans in order to tame them up. So we gave it our best to come up with a list of things that you can potentially use, but aren't the greatest, in our opinion anyway. In my opinion, the mech is just the best way to go, regardless. And you can jump over his other attacks as well, and just continue firing into him. And eventually, after a bit of time, you will find that he'll lose his corrupted nodules. Alrighty guys, and you can see that we are at the end of this little adventure. He's dropped all his pods that drop the seeds and everything. So from here on out, it's pretty much just a couple more shots, and that's how you know he's almost defeated. Because he'll get up his little shield, and that means that he's almost ready to be tamed. Dodge that attack. Okay, so yeah, just keep emptying up any weaponry you can into him. You can see we're dealing 1 damage to him, and you can see the corruption around his face is kind of carrying on. It's kind of got veins and everything going on in it. And come on, and he should almost be done now. Oh, okay, that's something you got to be careful of. That's why you don't want to get too close to him for, because you'll take damage like that, and it's not a fun time for anyone. Now guys, one thing that I do recommend putting around as well is plenty of sleeping bags or bags, just in case something does happen, and bringing plenty of extra backup supplies. So like extra mechs, extra suits of armor, extra dinos, extra tames, anything that you think will help you take on the Titan. Just make sure that you put lots of sleeping bags around in the area. Alrighty guys, and you can see there that once you eventually do enough damage to him, you'll actually get him knocked out, and you can just walk up to him and boom, tame yourselves up the Forest Titan. So guys, that's really all it takes. I wouldn't recommend going against the Forest Titan with anything but a mech, in all honesty. Otherwise you're just going to set yourself up for failure. So do make sure you take a mech with you. You could probably utilize the friend method, where you fly around with a really good pump shotgun and just blow into his corrupted nodules. But you've just got to be careful of his health as well, because eventually it'll drop to a low amount and you might not get any use out of him. Now it helps because we are actually stuck right now. So that's wonderful. So guys, that's 5 ways that you can tame up 5 methods that you can use to tame up a Titan. I wouldn't recommend any of them, but the first one. So guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for more. But other than that, I will catch you in the next one.